We've looked at creating a detail component to embellish views with construction level information. We'll now look at creating another type of 2D family, a tag. Because Revit is object driven and objects have both geometric properties, which are the 3D geometry that you can see in views, they also have associated parameters which provide information about the particular object. This information can be tagged and appear in documentation and schedules. As an example, here is a tag, and this is reading the room name and the room number. And if I select the room, I can see that the name is the staff room and the number is 00-05. So this is a annotation family that is extracting information about the element that it is hosted to. I'm going to create a tag to annotate the unique ID or the mark property of these doors. So I'll firstly go to File, New Family. I'll select the English templates, annotations, and I will select this template metric door tag. I'll select Open, and much the same way as the detail component, I do not have any views and I am only able to add annotation related geometry and elements. In order to be able to extract the information from the host element, I need to add a label. So I select the label tool on the ribbon. There are a number of types. I can edit this type and I will rename this type to 1.8 millimeters. And I will change the text size to 1.8 millimeters. I can choose to adjust the color, the line weight, the background, whether there is a border around the text, the font, and additional tab size, bold, italic, and underline, and the width factor, which will stretch or squash the text. I can set these type parameters as I wish. For now, I'll click OK, and then I simply click to place the label in the model space. I'm then prompted with the Edit Label dialog box, where I can select available fields from the Doors category, and here I have a list of all the Revit inbuilt parameters that I can add to this tag. I want to add the mark parameter, so I select the mark, add the parameter. I can give it a prefix if required. I can provide a sample value to assist me in setting out the tag. So I will type in a sample value of D01, and I can always add a suffix if required. Select OK, and if I zoom in, I can now see my tag placed. I can select the element and I can just check the text size is correct, and I can use the nudge tool or the keyboard arrows to nudge the label. I can set the horizontal alignment to be center, left or right, and also the horizontal or vertical alignment, middle, top or bottom, like so. Once I'm happy with this, I can create a new type. I'll call this the mark because I'm showing the mark parameter. Select OK. I can save the family to give it a name. And then I can load into my project. The tag tool automatically activates. I can change the distance for the leader line by default, and I can then start to tag the doors in my view. I can then adjust if required, like so. I can edit the family, and if, for example, I wanted to add another piece of information, such as the type mark, onto the end of this label, I can edit the label. I can then add the type mark value as an additional piece of information. Again, give it a sample value. I can then add a suffix between the mark and the type mark, so a dash, and I'll remove the space between the suffix and the type mark value. Select OK, and now I have a updated label. I actually want the type mark to come before the mark, so I can select the type mark, move the parameter up, making sure to swap the suffix and spaces around, and then I can load the tag back into my project, overwrite, and now I have the type mark along with the unique mark value. So this is how to create tags and many of the functionality available in 3D families, such as the visible property, can be used in tags to allow you to add separate labels indicating separate parameters included in one tag. And I would recommend that you try to create a single tag family per category rather than having separate tags for separate parameters. This just makes the management of your tags much easier across the project and for all the users working in your team.